What's up and welcome back to Kind of Funny Games Daily. I am, of course, Tim Geddes, joined by Greg Miller.
I got that kind of energy today.
Oh,
what are
Greg.
you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it?
It's always scary when there's Friday energy from a Greg Miller, Monday through Thursday, and then you get to the Friday. You know?
It's that thing where I think now you've got like the E3 energy of Friday, where like I want you to know, last night I went home, I was able to run on fumes enough to get Ben to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I just went and laid on the carpet.
Good.
And then Jen was like, I'm going to read a book. I was like, maybe I'll play. And it was like, I was so bad. I woke up this morning and apologized to her where I'm like, I'm sorry. I was so tired. She's like, I think it's cute when you're sleepy. I'm like, but I wasn't sleepy. Like last night was one of those like, I wish I would die. Nothing is making me happy. Everything sucks.
I know when you lay down on the carpet, like that is the mode of like, I know I could lay on the bed. I know I could lay on the couch. I'm not doing that. I want to be right here.
It's because you want to go. I wanted to get back to Alan Wake, but I was like to that point where I was like, the night before I stopped playing Alan Wake because it was that thing where I was so tired. Like this puzzle, it was not a puzzle, but it was like, how do I open and do, like, I was like, this is too complicated. I was like, I'm definitely not in the mindset to go down there and start that again. You know what I mean? Get back into that.
Yeah. I'm happy you're loving it so much though.
Alan Wake?
You guys, the way you guys are talking about it, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
It's something it's truly, truly special.
Yeah.
Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah. There's no spoilers. Don't worry, everybody. I'm not gonna spoil anything for it. But for you in particular, after we're jam-packed every day, all day. What are you doing after this? What am I doing after this?
So much.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about some of it in just a second.
Yeah. Oh man, you got a lot of it.
Yeah.
At some point today, okay. At 4:00, I'm gonna book a meeting.
Okay.
And you are going to come into a room with me and watch something. And it's very much like it would go way further if you had played the game, but you've seen the demo, right? You've watched the demos. You know what this survival horror game is?
Yeah.
Perfect. Then you're going to love this.
I'm quite familiar, Greg. Quite familiar. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of video game stuff today because, of course, this is Kind of Funny Games Daily, where each and every weekday we come at you live with all the video game news that you need to know. Of course, you can watch live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames or youtube.com/kindoffunnygames as well. If you wanted to get it as a podcast, you can search your favorite podcast service for Kind of Funny Games Daily, and we'll be right there for you. If you wanted to go above and beyond, patreon.com/kindoffunny is where you want to go. You can get the show ad-free. You can get a whole bunch of bonus content, and you can be a super dope, cool Patreon producer, just like Jedi Master Deadpool and Delaney Twining. We appreciate you all so very, very much. Today's stories include Sony defending PS Plus price increase, answering our Spider-Man 2 suit questions, and more. Of course, you can go to your Epic Game Store. Anytime you're there, you can use the Epic creator code Kind of Funny, and at no extra cost to you. We get some of that money, so it's great. So many different ways to support us, and we appreciate you no matter what way you choose. Little housekeeping for you. Our Spider-Man 2 Spoilercast with Bryan Intihar is up right now as a Gamescast. It's very, very, very good. Very cool. Really, really proud of this one. I'm really excited to be able to get to do it. To be able to have him in the studio was really special.
Yeah, Bryan obviously is kind of a full circle moment for us and for him, right? He talks about that on the show, and he talked about it before we went on, of how much fun he had in 2018 coming in and doing that Spider-Man Spoilercast. That was the first time he ever really talked about Spider-Man 2, right? And so, of course, we try to get him to talk about Spider-Man 3 here.
Yeah, of course. And does he? Kinda. He does.
Yeah. I think it's pretty clear. I mean, where we're going.
Yeah. So definitely go check that out once you are done with Spider-Man 2. I again, really proud of that content. I feel like we crushed that episode. So check that out when you are ready. And it's really cool. These spoiler casts we do with the developers end up being like core iconic Kind of Funny content.
Sure.
And I feel like that's been true always. Like even back at IGN when you did the Last of Us spoiler cast.
With Bruce and Neil back in the day.
Such an important piece of content for just the ethos of Kind of Funny, Greg Miller, all of that. And it's cool that people kind of like go back and listen to these episodes.
And they're the gateway usually, right? Like we get so many fans who come in and say, "Oh no, this is how I found you. I found you for this spoiler cast, that spoiler cast." Yeah,
so very cool. Also up on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames is our sponsored Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord stream we did yesterday. Greg.
Hey, I had a great time with this. Of course, a long time ago, Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord, they came in on last Halloween. I got to be the first person to ever try it, and we just did an interview, and it was this thing where it was like, They're like, we'll do a sponsorship in 2 parts where we do that. And then whenever we release the game, we'll come back. I'm like, okay, sure you will. And then they came back, but it was that idea of up until yesterday morning, Mike, Nick, and Bless hadn't played yet. So having them play it and be like, holy shit, actually, this is fun. And then us having a great 3-hour-long stream where not only do we BS around a lot, somebody put in the comments, I love this. It's a stream, it's a video game stream and a kind of funny podcast. It was us playing Ghostbusters, dressed as Ghostbusters, having a great time. It was a dream come true for me.
Classic. Your dreams, man. I just love it.
Yeah.
You're just getting everything.
Except a Superman game.
You just got a Spider-Man game. It's pretty much.
I'm not. I ain't, man. I ain't.
If you squint real hard, the red and blue start
when
to
you're
blend.
flying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. The wingsuit's going on. I don't
100%.
know. Next week, this is really, really, really exciting. Next week is IGN Cross Kinda Funny for Extra Life all week long. Let's go to the video.
Oh hey, it's Bryan Intihar from IGN.
It's Greg Miller from Kinda Funny.
We're bringing our Kinda Funny and IGN co-hosts together to compete, feud, and fight in tons of fun video games and challenges, and it's all to raise money for Extra Life.
So join us, hang out, donate to the charity event, and watch Kinda Funny destroy IGN once and for all for charity.
No, we're gonna crush you all for charity.
Kinda Funny versus IGN.
November 3rd at 10 a.m. Pacific.
Watch it.
Oh hey, it's Bryan
Now,
Intihar
what's
from
rad
IGN.
about that is the fact that, yes, our Extra Life stream, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. here in the spare bedroom, Friday. Will there be booze? Yes. Will there be games? Yes. We'll be competing. We'll have this whole thing. It's going to be a whole bunch of different people. It's taking over IGN's TikTok, our TikTok, IGN's broadcast, the stream. We're doing everything. It's on our streams too. Like wherever you watch IGN or Kinda Funny, it will be. That's awesome. That's exciting. I love Extra Life and I love hanging out with IGN folks, right? But the real cool thing, I think personally, is the lead up to it. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're doing this thing. We're calling it Friends Until Foes, right, on Friday. And so what we're doing is crossover content all week long. So you're having Kat Bailey come to the Kinda Funny Gamescast. You're having Podcast Unlock do an episode with, of course, our show. Damn it. I want you to know what a mental block is for me of every time I want to talk about the IGN Xbox podcast, I go to 3 red lights to this day.
I get it.
And so when I've been so hung up on
about that.
I don't want to fuck up 3 red lights. And then I'm like, what's ours called? Xcast is crossing over with 3 red lights, aka Podcast Unlocked. Kinda Funny, PS I Love You XOXO is crossing over with Podcast Beyond. And when I say crossover, what I mean is we are doing one show that is for both feeds. So everybody's coming in here. We're all sitting down. We're doing these shows. It'll run on IGN. It'll run on Kinda Funny. It'll be there, everything. If you're on Patreon, of course, you can watch it live as we record it. Maybe we're crashing the fix a few times. Maybe Stella's coming to beat me up in KFW. Who knows what's happening, except me, because I planned it.
Can I say the thing that I'm on?
Of course.
I'm making my return to NVC, which is super fun. Been 10 years since that's happened.
Yeah. There's a lot of things like that, right? Where it's like, damn, like hosting a Beyond, right? Like,
that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. I have a meeting with them today. I'm like, you have to let me be the first Beyond of the episode. That's all I want. Please let me be the first episode.
I love that. Yeah, and we have some other fun surprises and stuff.
Yeah, so all week long.
All week next week, Kinda Funny, cross IGN cross Kinda Funny. It feels good. It feels right.
It does
so that's gonna be so much damn fun. Speaking of fun, we have so much fun that we've had this week already. Saw In Review continues. Jigsaw In Review just posted this morning. It is the penultimate installment in the franchise for our In Review, and it's so sad for this thing to end because it's been such a good time. Definitely check this one out. We had so much fun doing it. Next week will be Spiral to end it all. And then in other entertainment stuff, we have been doing weekly breakdowns of Loki. We are now 4 episodes in. You can check all those out on the Screencast podcast feed or youtube.com/kindafunny. It's been me joined by a different co-host every week just talking about the episode. We had Goldfarb last week. I'm having Joey Noel this week.
Hey,
and
I know her.
That watched Loki last night, you're gonna want to tune into this. That shit was insane. So I need to talk about this. I want to see people hanging out in the comments and stuff, letting me know what their theories are, because what the fuck is going on?
Will I enjoy it when I get there?
Oh yeah, Greg.
How many episodes back am I? How many episodes are there?
4.
Oh, that's not bad.
Out of 6.
Yeah.
And of course,
I got to get going for MCU In Review.
Greg, Andy, and Nick will catch up and watch all of it for.
You hear that, Nick? We're gonna do it. We're gonna catch up
in just a couple weeks. And then over on Patreon, we're recording new episodes of Remember Blank and the Shit List. So go subscribe over there, become a member, get that content. A little housekeeping PSA for those of you in Europe. The clocks go back an hour this weekend. California changes theirs next weekend. So this coming week, all Kinda Funny content will be 1 hour earlier than normal for people in Europe. Like Games Daily will be at 5 p.m. instead of 6 p.m. in the UK. That's fucking weird. That comes from KDG.
Kinda Funny Magic 8 Ball. will this actually work, this announcement, and we won't get people all week long going, oh, why is the show on already? Not fucking likely. But I appreciate Katie G trying.
Yeah, she's definitely out here. She's doing.
Do I need to translate it?
No.
Oi, Governor!
God.
Housekeeping PSA for all those Europeans. The Queen's clocks go back an hour this weekend, yeah, they do. But California and the colonies changes theirs next weekend. So when it's coming week, Governor, all kind of funny content will be 1 hour earlier than normal for us. Here's some gruel.
Yeah, they do. Got me so.
Happy to help, Katie G. Happy to help, Gary Whitta.
The colonies. All right, Greg. I know we're already going a little bit long here, but I want to read this open.
But you're having fun,
We're
aren't
having
you, chat?
fun. It's a Friday on
Nerd
Friday.
confirmed. I see you. Are you having fun? Yeah, you are.
Oliver writes in and says, hi, Greg and Tim. Greg, I'm happy you're hosting today, especially because of the 1989 Taylor's version launch. We know 1989 is your favorite album, and I was wondering which from the vault track is your favorite. If you don't have one yet, what's your favorite track from this album? Mine's Wonderland, which I feel doesn't get enough love. Thanks for reading my question. Keep being amazing and preaching the Taylor Swift gospel. Now, Greg, last night, me and G have been doing our own little private Taylor Swift in review.
Nude, right? You're nude when you do this?
What's up?
You're nude when you do this?
Semi-nude.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Just the tops, But
you're wearing? You know what? I don't want to know. Just keep going.
You guys can imagine that however you want to imagine it. But we've been listening to albums like every night as we eat dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
And it coincidentally worked out last night. We finished 1989.
Oh, nice.
And it ended up, we finished it like at 9. It was weird.
Perfect.
But I ended up not listening to we just finished the original. So let's hold off. I think later tonight we're going to listen to this one, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
And 1989 is also my favorite of the Taylor Swift albums. So
yeah, brother.
Makes sense. But Greg, what are your thoughts so far?
Oh, I mean, it's great. I mean, I do have favorite vault tracks. Of course, Joey and I were talking about this when we got in today. And it was this idea of I was asking Joey some questions. She's like, I like to listen to it multiple times. And I'm like, oh yeah, me too. Like, it's just first blush right now. I'm a big fan of Is It Over Now? Followed by Say Don't Go. Like, that's where I would be right now in terms of from the vault tracks. And
have you listened to, is Shake It Off different in any way?
I mean, it's different. They're all different, right? There's always something, I mean? And that was the thing for me in particular, starting Welcome to New York, right? This is something I don't know if you know about me. 89, my favorite Taylor Swift album. 1989, probably my most listened to album, period, of my life.
Of all time.
Because it's one of those things where I find it to be such comfort food, and I've listened to it so many times that it's what I put on in my ears on an airplane when I go to sleep. Because it's just, I know it back to front so well that it's just comforting to drift off and come back. And, especially the times it's timed out where I wake up too clean, I'm like, oh man, that's a nice way to wake up. You know what I mean? But everything is a little bit different, right? Nothing sounds exactly the same. I think have you listened? Oh, you haven't heard anything.
That's my thing. It's for me, it's funny because 1989 is the one I'm easily most familiar with.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to hear the difference because I've listened to the other Taylor's versions and I'm like, I don't know these well enough to know the differences. Whereas this one, I think that I will for the majority.
Well, see, that was where I was going. It's Welcome to New York. I was listening. I'm like, all right, doesn't. And then there's this one synth. I'm like, oh, okay. I see a little bit. I can feel it. I'm more excited for you to hear the Bad Blood Kendrick Lamar remix if you haven't heard that yet.
Well, I mean, is it just the original remix? Or is it
they already do one? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard this before.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, this is Taylor's version, so I mean, it's, yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, that is exciting. Well, I'm happy that that's the version on this now. Anyways, enough about that.
It's an addition,
for now.
too. It's not just...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Gotcha.
You still get the normals.
I'd say we're actually by BetterHelp, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We got 6 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
Story number 1. Sony defends PS Plus price rises. This comes from Wesley Yinpool at IGN. Last month, Sony raised the price of all of its PlayStation Plus 12-month subscriptions globally across all tiers by roughly 30%. In a new interview, PlayStation's top business executive defended the decision, insisting the company had to adjust to market conditions. In September, Sony increased the price for 12 months of PS Plus Essential from $60 to $80, Plus Extra from $100 to $135, and Plus Premium from $120 to $160. At the time, Sony issued a brief statement explaining the significant significant price hike, saying this price adjustment will enable us to continue bringing high-quality games and value-added benefits to your PlayStation Plus subscription service. In a recent interview with Barron's, Sony Interactive Entertainment business chief Eric Lempel was asked to justify the price hike to consumers. He responded saying Sony had no choice but to raise the price of PS Plus. We want to make PS Plus great, he said. With our reboot last year and introducing the tier system, a lot of consumers have recognized that there's a lot of value in the PlayStation 5. Like practically everything else in the world, we have to look at our pricing and we have to adjust to market conditions. I'm happy to say, unlike a lot of other subscription services out there, we haven't touched the PlayStation Plus pricing for 85% of the world in many years. So this was the first time we did something there. There's a lot to break down here, but I do just want to give an extra special shout out to that last line. I'm happy to say, unlike a lot of other subscription services out there, throwing the shade, we haven't touched the PlayStation Plus pricing for 85% of the world in many years. What about the other 15%?
Fuck them.
You can't fucking make a statement like that and just be like, well, you know.
Listen, we're trying.
Unlike those guys, for fucking most people, get the fuck out of here. What do you say about this, Greg?
I say the same thing as always, right? Where it's like the proof will be in the pudding. They raise the prices, right? And they say it's because they want to add value. That's always a tough one because, of course, if you were to add the value in the front and then upgrade the price, right? Then you gave something to somebody for free, or, you know, in quotes for free, or for less than that, right? And then you're pissing them off by taking it away or by changing the thing. So now you're going to raise the prices and then, quote unquote, add more stuff to it, value add to it. You got to be good on that. You got to make good on that. And that, I think, comes down to what people expect from what they're getting from PlayStation Plus now, and of course the different tiers, but also what they're seeing on Xbox Game Pass. And I think it comes down to day and date releases. It comes down to more things like Stray. It comes down to PlayStation being aggressive in this section of the competition with Microsoft, with Nintendo Online, with the Epic Game Store. I mean, like, every one of these services is giving away free, quote unquote, games in some regard, right? And so it is about making sure you are keeping up with the Joneses in that and making sure you're there. Again, when this price hike happened, the thing we talked about was like, you know it, I know it, the podcast people know it. It's the idea that they are looking at their revenue charts, the bean counters are counting them beans and saying, listen, we might lose 10% of the people who pay for it, but the people who hear that will be made up by the price hike. So they're doing the math of, this really doesn't matter. We're really not worried about it. And in the end, it's going to lead to more revenue, which is what this game's all about. You know, because I'd love it if it was, hey, we're doing this, which means this should have come, if you really cared about a PR battle, with, we are raising the price to give you value adds. Here's an example of it. We have made a deal with Ubisoft, right? That everything's day and day. We're doing the same thing Xbox does with EA, right? Of like, you get the trials and all this free stuff. That's what you'd hope for. That's what you hope the money's going. But in the end, we're talking about a giant snowball of PlayStation rolling down the hill. And it's so large right now that they're not worried about losing that momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shinobi on Twitter, who if you don't follow, you definitely should, always has great takes on things. Adds some context to this and some extra points from the interview that I think are really interesting, where Sony expects one of the strongest seasons in PlayStation history this holiday for PS5 sales. This is also coming from Eric Lempel from the same context there. Obviously bolstered by Spider-Man 2, making sure that first party always has what they need, that collaboration between the first party teams, so they have technology resources to tackle dev issues, is an important thing for them to make sure is happening, which we've been talking a lot about recently, especially as Xbox begins to reform what its future looks like with so many new teams under its belt. Expanding PlayStation IP to reach a broader audience via film and TV is a core strategy that we've already seen them put in place with things like Last of Us and Twisted Metal Baby. But the most important thing here is 1/3 of the PlayStation Plus base has already opted for higher price tiers since when they were introduced, which is more than they expected. I think that is incredibly important given the context of what's going on here, with whether it's price hikes or just the strategy, but more so the success of PlayStation Plus. And, these are the type of things that we don't often get a look into.
Sure.
So even just being able to hear, not only was it do they see a lot of people going up, they didn't expect that, which is like, okay, cool.
And again, I think that, that is something the naysayers would love to not listen to. And I think this is what we always get into, where I know a lot of times when I make these arguments, I'm accused of being on the side of the corporation, when in reality, I'm just trying to explain the corporation's decisions, right? Whether I agree or disagree with them. But that's the proof in the pudding, back to my argument, right? Of like, they did this. They ran numbers. They ran projections. We'll probably lose this many people. But if this smaller percentage of people upgrade, then it's all worth it in the end, right? We did what, and now they're saying, oh, we have more than we thought we would. That's great. And again, I think it's the classic system of giving choices. Here's essential. But if you went to extra, you get this game catalog that had, I'd go to extra. And when you make that mental note of I'm going to extra, then you look at premium. Yeah. Well, it's the gamer math, like girl math, right? Well, it's only $20 more, so it's really, Yeah. And again, like the whole thing with it is just trying to figure out what works for you. You know what I mean? Like I go to this, I make this example a lot, of like when they gave us PlayStation Plus Premium. It's like, okay, cool. We tried it out. And when that ended, I think I just went to Essential, right? Because, of course, I'm very lucky that I have a massive game catalog because of review codes, because of being old and doing this for so long that I don't need that thing. But when Jen and me got back into Diablo after taking review season off, right, it was like, oh, shit, you need PlayStation Plus. We're buying you a month of it. Let's see if in a month we need to, right? Because Jen and I aren't going to be here for 12 months playing Diablo every night where we need it. Let's just buy what we need when we need it.
I got in a weird moment like 2 days ago after the that Xbox show that we watched where there was Spirit of the North 2 was shown. And I was like, you know what? I was interested enough in that I was like, I'm going to download Spirit of the North 1. And I was going to get it on Switch, but then I saw there was an enhanced version on PS5 that was like 4K 60. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to do that. And I saw the option. It was like, all right, it's free on some version of PS Plus, or it was like $8 to buy. Normally retailed for like 20 something. And I looked and I was like, I have no idea what PlayStation Plus I have. I have no idea which one they're asking me to have to get this shit. I just fucking paid $8 to buy the thing. I was like, it's not even worth me looking into this.
Totally.
And like, I don't know who's at fault there. I'm sure I am a little bit, but it's like, 'cause it's not that complicated, but it is more complicated than I want to be, even just looking at it, like actively trying to make the decision of like, it's easier for me to just fucking buy this right now.
What I think is always a fun argument, and this is definitely how the sausage gets made and yada, 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 is that it doesn't happen, I think, often, but once in a great while when I'm like, a game's fun and I give it a score or whatever, and this has been back as long as I've been at IGN, right? It was this, I'll have the argument thrown at me, well, Greg, you don't understand back in the day what $60 means to the consumer anymore. You don't understand what $70 means to the consumer. And I'm always like, no, I do. I'm just telling you what I think of this game, blah, 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 blah. And like, if I'm saying I'm okay with this glitch, this problem, whatever it is, right? I understand what that means. This is one of those situations where I don't think that I don't understand what the money means, but everyone has their own use case for PlayStation Plus in a way that I will never understand.
Totally.
Because it is like, you get the classics catalog. And I'm like, well, So first off, I don't care about any of those PS1 classics for the most part. And even if I did, I have them somewhere on something. And like, the game catalog. And I'm like, the game catalog's great. But again, like any game I want is a snap of my fingers away. And again, you can track back for years, even through PS3, right? Like I have a library of thousands of games. So it is really that like my use case scenario is so different for PlayStation Plus that I can really only sit there and give you like, well, this is how I'm using it with Jen. This is how I am. And it was worth pointing out, I guess, that like, with rare exception, it has happened in the past, but not recently to my knowledge, I pay for my own PlayStation Plus, right? I pay for my annual essential, right? Because PlayStation only really gives those codes out for, hey, we've upgraded, changed something, we want you to see something or whatever. So it's like, I get it, but even then, like, I'm happy. I just want to play online. I just want to be able to do it and worry. I like the free games, sure, but even like when something like Stray is on PlayStation Plus at launch, we're getting review code before then. It's rare, again, that like, I think maybe Maquette we had to wait for actually a pop there. So this is an interesting one of like, you, the listener, viewer, your use case is so personal for it that it really is, well, how much do you use it, right? Like even like Netflix and all that stuff, when, to Eric taking shots at Game Pass or Netflix or any other subscription service, increasing it. Again, it's back to, well, what is it worth to you? Like, like I don't pay for Hulu. I cheat and use Joey's, right? But again, I only use Hulu for the bear. I think that's all I come back for Hulu. I know you use Hulu a lot for the live TV stuff.
All the FX stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't do that, right? So it's like
too.
Hulu I don't care about, but when they just increased Netflix's price, I saw one of our peers, maybe Joey, I think it was Joey, be like, this is an outrageous increase and I'm going to cancel it. And it's like, oh man, we use Netflix like every night. Like, no, I think it's expensive, but that is a essential Miller household app that I wouldn't cancel because of this.
Yeah. I mean, that's just where we're at these days with all the streaming services. Like, to your point, like they're all trying their best, and there are many of them that have pushed through the fat, and they exist. And when it comes to both the game side of things and TVs and movies and stuff, like there is so much content being put out there. It's up to you if it's worth it or not. But to so many people, it is, and they're going to continue to raise the prices because there's continued costs everywhere. And even then, so many of these places are putting out like record-breaking profits and stuff. But there's also so much more being spent than ever to be able to make that stuff happen. So.
And so to bring it all full circle, you brought it back of like, there's still so many people using it. That's what we're seeing with the PlayStation Plus price increase, where they go, okay, we're going to lose these people or have them, either lose them entirely or have them drop to essential. And that's okay. Like, that's always it sounds like you don't care. And I'm sure people at the corporation don't in the hierarchy or whatever, but there is a choice. There is a thing. This is what we think it's worth. This is what it's. But then you come back to so much money being made, but so much going into it. That's what I think people need to see from PlayStation Plus now. Is like, okay, cool. The money's going back in, and you are getting these. We've made a deal with Devolver, and everything Devolver is day and date on PlayStation Plus or something to that effect.
Yeah.
If they really care about it, or if they just go, it's doing better than we thought, and we're not putting much more work into it.
Yeah. That's
slightly back away, and it just becomes normal, right? Like when games next gen are going to be $70 rather than $60. Oh my God. And then 2 weeks later, nobody fucking cares.
I mean, I think the most important thing is going to be in a couple years from now when Game Pass goes from being what it is now to the Activision side of it and Call of Duty and all of that. Because, I mean, we're really going to see the ramifications of Game Pass and that financial structure and revenue system of what it's going to mean for sustainability for games from indie all the way up to AAA, everything in between, and how that affects the rest of the industry and how PlayStation's going to react, because it's going to be demonstrable. There's no way that everything just kind of works out, like essentially giving away Call of Duty. At some point, Game Pass is not going to be as cheap as it is. It's already starting to get more and more expensive, but there's more and more value. I think that's how this works, but it does get concerning in a way where at what point can Game Pass not say everything's on Game Pass, because they need to make tiers, because there's gonna be so much value in it that they're like, well, we need to make it this price for it to be worth it. And then all of a sudden that price is too high for normal people to be able to.
But even there, right? Like it's such a great conversation. It could be just, we need no other stories, right? Like you talk about for normal people to justify it. And I would say that like right now, Xbox is desperate to have normal people understand what they have with Game Pass, right? Where it is like, oh, that and your phone and this and cloud streaming, da 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 da. And as you get, like, I feel like Xbox is clearly putting the money into building their first party, which is inherently building Game Pass. So when they do upgrade it, it would be this idea like, well, fuck, yeah, you're getting Diablo and Call of Duty and Overwatch and, the list goes on of everything you just acquire from Activision Blizzard, King, when they're really going to go after your mobile phone here with that, right? And I feel like if they were then to break it into stratas of what you're getting and how they're doing it, then again, you're giving people choice. Where if there is that entry level, you're getting Game Pass for whatever the lowest price is, and you still get xCloud, you still get this, and you can play your library, whatever the hell they do, right? Then
just like PlayStation now.
Exactly, right? But again, you would hope that'll be a big test, right? Of like, when they do that, is there the, what the fuck? How can you do? And well, they just fucking spent $69 billion to get, you know what I mean, or million.
Yeah. That's going to happen, obviously. That's just because people have opinions, and that's fair. But I also just think it's like, that's unfortunate, because like, I don't want that to happen. Like, I want it to be just the one thing to rule them all, because that makes sense. And that's where the power lies, I think, because the confusion on the PlayStation side is also what adds to looking at it and us being like, oh, they need a Devolver. They need a day one this. They need PlayStation is lacking right now, whereas we look at the Xbox and they're not. And it's just, I don't know. It's scary to think about that shifting in a way that, like, for as mad as everyone is about Netflix or Disney Plus or Apple or any of the ones that have raised their price in the last 12 months, and we'll do it again, I guarantee it, that's going to happen with Game Pass. And I think that when you look at the cost of games compared to the cost of TV and movies and all this shit, like, it is going to be so much more. And I bet the Game Pass ends up being like close to a $70 a month, like a full retail game release a month price within the next 10 years.
Yeah, I can see
like,
that.
That's wild. Like, that is a huge amount of money that is not just a casual thing of, oh, everyone should get this. At a certain point, though, does that make it not the best value in gaming still? Because if the value is there, if there's just that much more premium stuff
put
being
into it. Yeah.
But I do think that raises the market cap, and it raises the accessibility to people, the barrier to entry of it all. So that I think that is the biggest problem that Microsoft and PlayStation from different angles are going to have to face in the next couple of years.
Agreed.
We're going to move on to story number 2, but before we do that, I wanted to give you a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Do you ever feel like your brain is getting in its own way? I can't even count the amount of nights I lose sleep just because I can't stop thinking and my brain just won't stop talking. It turns out one great way to make those racing thoughts go away is to talk through them. Therapy gives you a great place to do that so you can get out of your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace. And it can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapist anytime for no additional charge. You can make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/kindafunny today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindafunny. BetterHelp.com/kindafunny. Story number 2. Spider-Man.
I think it's fucked up we haven't met Jack Black.
I do.
I feel like I saw him.
We've had a couple close encounters.
Yeah, we have. It's been close before. I just feel like he's somebody we should know. I feel like we should be friends with Jack Black. I saw him being cool on TikTok.
Yeah. Shirtless.
No, this was just him singing to a kid that liked the school rock song or whatever.
I think he takes morning. His shirt off in that.
Listen,
much longer.
That's my bit, all right?
Yeah, I know. That's why you guys would get along even more.
We'd be such good friends.
Yeah.
Everybody hit up Jack Black and say, come hang out with Kinda Funny.
Story number 2. Spider-Man 2 director explains what happened to the Undies suit and other missing costumes. This comes from Rebecca Valentine at IGN. We all know that what everyone's favorite part being Spider-Man is, right? Not the thrilling web slinging or the hanging from buildings or the monstrous symbiote powers. It's dressing up in cool Spidey suits. But unfortunately, some of the suits from the original Marvel Spider-Man are missing in Spider-Man 2, and IGN has the opportunity to learn exactly why. We spoke to Insomniac senior creative director Bryan Intihar on a Spoilercast episode of Beyond to learn more about the suit situation. First off, Intihar explains moving suits from Spider-Man 1 to Spider-Man 2 isn't as simple as just pushing a button and making them magically appear. A lot of those are PS4, and then even the ones that showed up in the remaster, they have to be basically PS5 sized or whatever. They have to be upgraded, so there's a work factor to get it in there. What's more, he continues, the web wings and capes present in Spider-Man 2 made things wonky with some of the suit designs. Interesting.
Yeah.
And would have required a lot more work to make every single suit function on a basic level with the game's mechanics look and feel. Quote, so it was just picking and choosing. We had our favorites, we had things that we wanted to introduce, new things we wanted to do, and it's a little bit of, here's our faves, here's what we know the fans might like. I knew from day one, every movie suit that they want is going to be in there. It's got to be in there. Then also, the other thing was, it was really important to me that Miles and Pete had the same number of suits. The other thing is, we talked a lot to the character team. What are the character team most excited about making? They put so much time and effort into those suits. I want them to wake up every morning and go, I'm excited to work on this character. I'm excited to work on this suit. So we lean on them as well, because a lot of them are hardcore comic book fans and they have their suits. I was bummed that the cel-shaded one wasn't in. That was definitely my favorite of the first game, and it was my go-to suit. Like, I played once I got it, which was late game, but my entire platinum journey, I know, my entire platinum journey was in that suit. I loved it, so I was kind of bummed it wasn't in this one.
Yeah, I can see that, and I agree with that. I like that suit a lot. That was a welcome surprise at the end of it. And it's funny you say that, because when I was texting with Goldfarb over the weekend, he was like, I'm finally starting, and he's like, is this, and that was first question, I guess, was, are the cel-shaded? And I'm like, no, the Spider-Verse are. So it's like that, for Miles or whatever, but it's not the same, I know. And I guess, do we care about suit spoilers? Is that should I not talk about that?
I would not talk about story spoilers.
No.
But just suits, I think is fair.
Like, for me, it was like, I'm with you. This is jumping a little bit in the conversation, but like, you're talking about like your platinum journey and using it at the very end. I hate doing that, unlocking a great suit at the very end. I think that could be something they could play with, is even the ones that are later, like, figure out, just give me a suit marketplace really to go from, which they kind of do, I know. But like, my one that I would have loved to have done the whole thing is the last movie Spider-Man suit, right? From Far From Home. No Way Home. No Way Home. I can't keep them straight anymore. But anyways, like, getting that, I was like, awesome. But I got it so late where I was like, all right, well, Now I'm just doing a few things. Yeah, I'm already doing these things. I like that earlier. Anyways, back to this or whatever, right? Like I feel for Insomniac. They do such a great job on it. But yeah, you're never going to make everyone happy, right? You're never going to have every suit possible that you'd want. And like people want stuff to come back, but you don't want to just, rehash it. And then no matter what, it's work. Then you got Chris Anka over here making 400 new suits or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's there's so many suits in this game that are great. I do feel like some of them, like I personally look at this and I'm like, I don't know why there's so many like this and not enough like this, but like there's reasons. And like they spell them out here and it's like it's definitely a bummer, but
and it's crazy for me to look at like TikTok clips and YouTube stuff where it's like the suits, I was like, wow, who would ever, and they're using those
you see
suits.
them in motion,
I'm like,
and you're like, oh, that's all like,
no,
cool.
I'm like, no, I still don't like this suit and I would never wear it, but hey, you're doing it, good for you.
Yeah, it is funny seeing everybody's, again, opinions. They're just out there. But like people like that are hating on certain suits and loving certain suits, and I'm just like, wow, people are so different.
Yeah,
Everyone's
exactly.
So different.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if all the suits from the first game end up getting added in.
Yeah, of course, this is going to be supported. They remember, of course, even for Spider-Man 1, right? Like it was the build up to all the different things. They're still talking about, he talks about New Game Plus coming for us. I tried to nail him down in our Spoilercast about DLC or another Miles. He won't say it, which means to me the door's open for DLC, like stuff like that. Yeah. Also, did you see was it in Games Daily yesterday? I didn't get a chance to watch that. Batman Arkham Knight added in the Pattinson suit for like 2 seconds or whatever.
Yeah, weird.
Goofy.
8 years later,
goofy.
A year and a half after the movie came out.
Super weird. Oh,
what are they doing over there?
Cameron Kennedy brings up a good point. I'd love if New Game Plus has suits to unlock. Not just the ones you have, but like some of the old ones. That could be cool. I don't expect that.
Just let me use the suits. You know what I mean? Come on. Just give me the suits right away. I'm playing the goddamn game again. Let me go.
Yeah.
If it's going to do the exact same thing, I get to New Game Plus and unlock another suit. Oh, great. Here's 4 minutes of me swinging before I turn this off, uninstall.
Story number 4. Epic Games confirms the next season of Fortnite brings players back to Chapter 1. This comes from Wesley LeBlanc at Game Informer. After
we skip the story?
He did, but I thought it was on purpose.
Oh, I did. My bad. Story number 3. Spider-Man 2 fans ask Insomniac to make Spider-Cube bug an official Spidey suit. Comes from Anthony Wood at IGN. That's pretty much in the headline there. Insomniac Spider-Man 2 boasts an impressive collection of 72 unlockable cosmetic skins. However, in the days following the launch of Spider-Man 2, evidence began to circulate of an unofficial 73rd appearance, born of a bug that slipped Insomniac's attention. Some players reported that following prolonged play sessions, the character models for Miles and Peter would fail to load, and in their place would appear a small white cube, which would take the place of the Spider-Men as they swung and fought their way through New York. Sadly, the latest patch for Spider-Man 2 saw the removal of the Spider Cube. Threaded among the deluge of memorial posts were calls for Insomniac to treat Spider Cube as a feature rather than a bug and add it to the official roster of in-game suits.
I unlocked this suit after I rolled credits. It was awesome. And I used that suit to swing underneath New York for like 5 minutes. It was sick as hell.
Fuck yeah, dude. Others hoped that the cube might make an appearance in a future Spider-Verse animated movie.
Chris Anka, get on it.
Everybody was calling it tofu, so I thought it was. When I saw Janet, I think posted, I was like, originally, I was like, oh, I didn't know there must be something you do to make unlock tofu mode. Tofu mode. Yeah, I realized it was just a bug.
There he is.
God bless
He's going. Back to story number 4. Epic Games is returning to Chapter 1 after weeks of in-game teases and more. Epic Games officially confirmed the next season of Fortnite will bring it back to where it all began, with Fortnite loading screens hiding secret dates that point to Chapter 1 Season 5 and props from that season landing on the current season's maps. Players have remained convinced that the next season, Chapter 4 Season 5,
You keeping up with all this? You keeping up with all this?
Back to an older chapter of Fortnite. Now we know it's happening. Today's reveal comes by way of the official Fortnite Twitter account, which posted Sprint or Mantle, your choice. Back to Chapter 1. See you soon, November 3rd, 2023. Hashtag Fortnite OG with an image of the Fortnite Battle Bus. The tweet confirms what many have been speculating. Fortnite's going back to its Chapter 1 roots. And while not officially confirmed, it's likely the Chapter 4 Season 5 map will have some Chapter 1 Season 5 integration on it based on teases over the past few weeks. Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 5. I can't do this. I can't do it. Launches on November 3rd. Cool?
Yeah, I mean, you see the audience there. You saw Nick O and you saw Hypex. They're all stoked for it. That's something cool for them. It is cool. I mean, in terms of like when you're Fortnite and you have so much history behind this game, the idea that you can kind of get really meta with it, even though they've been meta for a long time. But I mean, go back to your first thing and have people excited for that. And like, you know, I assume that'd be back to Tilted and having all the classics and all the jazz there that you'd want. Like, yeah, that sounds great. Sure. Whatever.
I'm sure Mike is hyped.
Mike, you hyped to go back to Chapter 1? He's so excited, he says.
I didn't know Mike was in here.
Yeah, it's one of those like, okay, cool. And it serve your fan base and do that and get people excited. And it's like, you know, it's been interesting to see Fortnite ebb and flow I've the way I've played since launch has been that way, where sometimes I'm super into it and then I'll be away for years and come back and have a really big month with it or whatever. I feel like more than ever now we've seen that in the zeitgeist, the popularity of Fortnite, right? Where it is, they used to have these big events and it would shut everything down. And we'd all be talking about and we'd be covering every tease, everything, and blah blah. And granted, usually a few of us would be super into the game at that point, or it'd be something that's crossing over that we'd really care about. Right now, you're in such an interesting spot where Fortnite is just Fortnite. It is just this amazing thing that's happening, and you're playing, and any kid you talk to is doing victory royales or whatever. But it doesn't have the headlines right now, so this is an interesting move to do that. I saw their Alan Wake skin this morning, and that cracked me up. Just a dude. Just a dude. I'm a writer, and I'm in Fortnite with an AK, just shooting everybody.
Get everybody in there. Story number 5. Capcom reveals it's working on a next-gen RE engine codenamed Rex.
Metal Gear to end all Metal Gears.
IGN. God, dude, I want to play Metal Gear so bad.
Do it, man.
So freaking bad. Capcom is working on a next-generation version of RE Engine, the powerful but flexible technology powering games ranging from Monster Hunter Rise to Resident Evil 4 Remake. The new engine was revealed in a presentation intended for devs that was published on Capcom's R&D channel, which was first uncovered by Okami Games. In a section titled RE Engine's Future, the presentation delved into some of the challenges facing the tech, including the need for a high degree of customization per game. Capcom's solution is to develop a new standard of engine that it's calling Rex. According to the presentation, the new technology will be introduced into the existing engine in phases. Dragon's Dogma 2 is the next game to feature RE engine technology, with the new Monster Hunter game also rumored to be on the horizon in 2024. RE Engine is always a win for me. Whenever I see that logo pop up before a game, I'm like, oh, chances are I'm going to like how this game looks.
Sure.
Back when you look at the RE2 remake, it's just like, damn.
Gorgeous.
Damn, right?
A gorgeous game.
You look at even the first-person games, like the flexibility from a third-person RE, first-person RE, still look absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. Devil May Cry 5, oh my God, looked so damn good. And it's kind of unbelievable that all those games have a similar look, but they're all so very, very different. I just feel like the versatility of this engine has really kind of proved its worth over the years. And so for it to get an upgrade, I'm really excited about. I'm really interested on when we actually see it make its real debut, because timing-wise, it sounds like Monster Hunter World 2 won't be getting it, which seems like a bummer, but I mean, RE Engine 1 is still so damn good that, like, I don't know.
That's my thought on it too, right? Where it's like, yeah, RE Engine still looks great. And I think if you're talking about something like Monster Hunter World 2, like, I would hope that's further along than having to wait for the new engine and yada, yada, yada. Let alone, I think, even though Monster Hunter World is pretty whatever, I don't think that I'm playing that game for visuals necessarily. Scale, scope, gameplay. That's what I want more than like, oh man, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. Les and I were talking yesterday about some the Capcom sales and things like that, and looking at the future of Capcom and where they're going next. Obviously, Monster Hunter World 2 is probably their next biggest game, but then there was the question of when is the next RE? Like, we imagine RE9 is going to be the next title we see. They've been on this like pretty steady remake clip, but they're running out. And with RE4 remake having just come out, we looked back at the last decade of RE games, and essentially there's been like 2 years that they've missed putting out a new game, whether it was a full-on remake or the next installment,
a brand new one,
7 Village, whatever. So I don't expect to get 9 like next year or maybe even the year after that. Maybe, but maybe not. I would imagine it's the following year, and I imagine it would be using this.
That makes sense. I think that would make sense for a debut.
Yeah. Exciting stuff, though.
Indeed.
And also, I feel like we need a little break from RE.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel like it's been a feast of riches to the point of like RE4 dropped the remake and I still haven't started it. God, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's just rough because, I mean, look, survival horror, again, I was saying this yesterday, but like, it's never had a better year than this year, right? Between Dead Space remake, RE4 remake, Alan Wake 2. It's like, dang, man, like they're really, it's awesome to be a survival horror fan right now. Story number 6, Disney Dreamlight Valley is no longer going free to play when it leaves early access. This comes from Tom Ivan at VGC. Gameloft has announced that Disney Dreamlight Valley will leave early access December 5th, 2023, but that it will no longer be going free to play when it does. As we look ahead to the official launch, with the earnings we've gained from early access, we've made the decision to remain a paid game for the foreseeable future. Released last September for Switch, PS5, 4, Xbox Series X, S, Xbox One, PC, and Mac, the game was previously due to transition to a free-to-play model when it left early access. This choice ensures that Disney Dreamlight Valley will be able to continue delivering on a premium game experience for all players. It's important to us that we maintain our promise to keep delivering free content updates that add new characters, realms, clothing, furniture, and more surprises to your valley. Purchases requiring moonstones will remain optional, fair, and match the level of quality players have come to expect. Players will still be able to collect free moonstones via Dream Snaps. I love talking about games I don't play. It's always
Give me some dreams.
funny, dude. Or just and optionally choose to purchase them. When it leaves early access, several editions of Dreamlight Valley will be available. They'll range in price from $40 for the core game to $70 for the gold edition, which will include the game's first newly announced expansion pass. And joining us to the stage is Disney Dreamlight Valley's #1 fan, Joey Noel. Joey, what do you think about this?
I have no idea what you guys just talked about. I get a Slack from Greg that says, "Come talk Disney Dreamlight Valley," and I appear.
It will not be going free to play when it leaves early access.
Oh, interesting. I'm actually like not that mad about it because I don't really love free to play mechanics, so I would rather just pay for it outright, personally. This is like one of the games that I put the most time into. 2023 has been the year of D games for Joey. It's Disney Dreamlight Valley, Diablo, and Destiny, and Dave the Diver. That's like pretty much all I've played all year. But I'm like I haven't even played the latest expansion of this. Like I've been a little bit behind, but I'm excited to see what it looks like. They've been really robust in how they've supported it so far. So I think with like a full release, it'll be pretty good.
Purchases requiring moonstones will remain optional, fair, and match the level of quality players have come to expect. Players will still be able to collect free moonstones via Dream Snaps and Chest, or optionally choose to purchase them. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that it's been a good economy there?
Yeah, you get a lot of them from the battle passes and stuff every season. I don't remember exactly what they call them. But the cosmetic stuff for me is so touch and go based on whatever the theme is that I don't feel like compulsive, like I need to buy all of them that are released. So I think it's kind of however you play the game, what kinds of like Disney properties you're into and stuff like that. So it's really fun. There's definitely ways to get them where you don't have to pay for them. You can just find them in the world naturally. I think like once a day you get like a chest of them and stuff like that. So if you want to play the game and you don't want to put money into it, then like you definitely can save them up. I think with like the pack that we got initially, I don't even think that I've had to buy them outright because there hasn't been like, I've used up kind of all the ones that I've had, but I haven't had to put any actual money into it yet.
Well,
and I love putting money into free to play games. So like I would, but I feel like there's enough stuff that I don't necessarily need all the time.
Well, hell
I'm
yeah.
excited about this. Thanks. I should watch Games Daily more often, you know?
Joey, this is your warning that when we get to the Kind of Funny Gamescast Game of the Year, we're going to have a special segment called Joey's Favorite D.
Okay.
Yeah. Blaster Goblin writes in and says, Disney Dreamlight Valley announced they won't be going free to play anymore after promising it for over a year. Was this the plan all along as a way to sneak in free to play Battle Pass into a full price game with no backlash?
I highly doubt it. We're not there. We're not on their side, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's also a game other than Joey. We're not following incredibly closely here. I doubt that they were that smarmy about it. I think in the difference is that this is the reality of where free to play is right now, how crowded that landscape is, what kind of audience Dreamlight Valley has cultivated. Of course, before Joey came on, I saw a comment go by that was, does anybody play this game? And it's like, yeah, people play this game. There is an audience for this game. And it's about, you assume, obviously trying to ensure your business survives, that your game is successful enough, but also serve your player. And it doesn't serve your player if you go free to play, and that leads to you getting massive layoffs. This thing closes, et cetera, and you're done in 6 months. Yeah, this is a way to keep they've looked at everything and they're saying this is how we can financially keep this game going. Yeah, you gotta respect that.
This seems like the type of transparency too, even in the way that they're expressing this news. That it is them trying to look at the numbers, look at the stats that they have of the success of this game and the failures of this game potentially, and be like, cool, we need to change strategies in order for this to continue to exist. Because as we've seen every week for the last year, if you don't make the right choices and changes and strategy put in place, your game will no longer exist, and then teams get laid off. So this makes sense to me. I don't think it was stemmed from a evil plan from the beginning.
100%. But we could be wrong. Again, remember, in some respect, John Drake has touched this.
You're right.
And he is evil.
Evil, pure evil.
Remember, and I'll say what we're all... No, I'm kidding.
Remember, you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunny where you can get the show ad-free. And one day, Greg, one day, every person on the planet will do that, and it'll be fantastic. But that day is not today. But if I want to know what's coming to Mom and Grop shops today, where would I look?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform, as listed by the Kinda Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Barrett.
Out today, Alan Wake 2 on PS5, Xbox Series X and S.
I'm committing to it, Greg. After I get through Cyberpunk, which I wasn't able to touch too much this last week, I'm gonna play the scary game for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You're really gonna enjoy it.
That lady from the other day was real scary though. From the Xbox thing.
Yeah, no, I know.
She had
Wake
two
up.
heads. It's fucking freaky.
And what was it? Oh, yeah. EA Sports UFC 5.
Were you gonna say one of the heads was her crotch?
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that. It was in line with that, but I'm happy I didn't say what I said. PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. Fears to Fathom, Ironbark Lookout, PC. And Sands of Aura on PC. New dates for you. Radiant Silvergun coming to Steam on November 3rd. Gangs of Sherwood, been delayed to November 30th. Top Racer Collection coming to Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS4, PS5, Switch, PC on January 11, 2024. Apex Legends is finally getting cross progression with Season 19 on October 31st.
Finally. Halloween treat for you.
Let's see what we got going on. Nothing, Greg.
What's going on?
Literally nothing.
Yeah, there was some editorializing in there.
Oh, you got rid of him. Okay, cool. I appreciate
I keep my eye on the prize out there.
Yeah, I get that. That's a good thing. Next week's host, we got Greg and Roger on Monday. Roger's first appearance on Kinda Funny Games Daily as an actual host. That's exciting.
Very exciting.
Very cool.
We'll break him.
We will break him. Tuesday, we got Greg and Bless. Wednesday,
I'll break him just for the hell of it.
we have Bless and Andy. Thursday, we have Bless and Greg. I'm just not on Games Daily next week. Oh, that's not true. I am on Friday, where we're doing a very special IGN crossover episode. I'm just going to start hyping this up now. You're going to want to watch Friday's episode of Games Daily.
A lot of good stuff.
You're going to want to hang out with us all day.
Thank you, Siri.
The Flash / Supergirl crossover episode, details revealed. This comes from IGN.com on January 20th, 2017.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyways, you're going to want to be here on Friday all day hanging out.
It was a great episode.
This episode?
No, that episode is a Flash crossover.
Yeah. This episode was all right.
This episode was great. We had a lot of good
This episode
discussions.
was fucking great. We're going to have great ones next week, but Friday's going to be cool. We're doing a whole IGN crossover episode that you will not want to miss. Got a lot of fun surprises for that one as well. Greg, we got a couple minutes left. It's 10:54.
Yeah.
We got the post show coming up soon. You want to just wrap now and then just get straight to the post show?
Let's go to the post
do
show.
it. This has been Kinda Funny Games Daily each and every weekday live right here on youtube.com/kindafunnygames and twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. We run you through all the video game news you need to know. But until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you. Mike's joining us, everybody. Get those super chats in as we hang out with you over the next 35 minutes.
I'm going to pour a coffee.
Pour it up, dude. It's Friday.
Wait, do you make a pot of coffee?
Make a pot of coffee. Book a coffee.
Hello, Tim Geddes. How are you?
I'm good, Mike. How are you?
Tim, I'm doing well. It's Friday. It's the end of the week. I had a short week.
Yeah.
I was here Wednesday through Friday. Got to spend some time with the Pops, which is always fun and nice. And now we head into my, probably my favorite weekend of the year, which is Halloween Saturday.
Let's get spooky.
Because it's time to party. And it's time to have fun with your friends. It's time to dress up. It's time to just go out and explore the city and get
What's
lost.
your plan? What are you doing?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
I have no
he
friends and it's
says
just
all
Mike.
of this, Tim, and then I want to take you back to Wednesday when we were doing the Batman Arkham Origins stream, where I played the entire game in 7 hours. And Mike and Roger were kind enough to join me on Discord and hang out and make sure I wasn't alone the entire time. And Mike starts detailing his plans for the Kinda Funny Halloween party, which is he's going to dress up as Michael Myers and just stand in the corner the entire night.
No, not for this party, but that was my outfit that I was going to go. I got this dope
No,
jumper
you said that
saw
for this
yesterday.
party.
Wait, so are you going to the party?
No.
So, okay.
Well, that was like if I go to a party like Freakers Ball is where I was going to go. Shout out to the Freakers Ball.
What the fuck is the Freakers Ball?
Shout out
Do you
to the
know
Freakers
anybody
Ball.
going to the Freakers Ball?
Yeah, the whole city will go to the Freakers Ball. It's up in
Do you
Tahoe.
know anybody
wait,
personally?
the whole fucking
Are
city,
any
the
of your
Earl the
friends
Squirrel
that
will
you
be there,
know?
Of course. Step boy Sean will be
What is
there.
this?
The Freakers Ball. It's just a big party at the casino. Everybody goes to the Freakers Ball. Everybody knows about it. If you don't know, you don't know.
You can't define something with the word. It's like, what's the Freakers Ball? It's the Freakers Ball.
It's the Freakers Ball, Tim. Everybody knows about it. So what I was going to do this year was I was going to go Michael Myers, because if you kept eyes on my pumpkin festival photos, you would see that some kid dressed up as Michael Myers. And so there was just this sea of people, and then this kid just stood there. And then one time, I'm 90% sure he made eye contact with me because he did this and raised his knife, and then he dropped it. And I was like, that's a great costume.
This kid's
and I'm
got it
going to
going
do
on.
that. So
Yeah.
this year, that's what I got. I got a nice onesie that I wore yesterday. It's soft. It's like an easy jumpsuit, you know what I
Okay.
mean? And then I was just going to buy the mask, and then wherever I go, I'll just walk around. It's easy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know where I'll go. Who knows?
You fascinate me to no end, Mike, because without even having a period in the sentence, you went from having a costume and a plan for the Kind of Funny
Yes.
Halloween party to not going to the Kind of Funny Halloween party to introducing me to fucking Freakers Lounge or whatever the hell
Yeah.
it's called.
Freakers Lounge.
And it just,
I mean,
don't
well,
get
that
it.
was always the plan. Was the Freakers Ball, but then it's like,
Where is this
now-
Freakers Ball?
Well, up in Tahoe, you got to drive back home. It's like, do you really want to drive back home?
I
Then
don't
you
know.
and I could.
So
we
wait,
could
so now
sleep,
you're
we could
telling
watch
me
a
you're not
movie.
doing that either.
Well, I think I'm going to go get lost on a good coast town, and I'm going to dress up as a cool ghost and just skateboard around.
Ghost to the coast?
God, I'll tell you what.
Or you can hang out with your friends on Saturday night.
I already saw him last night. We had a great time on Thursday. Soccer. Let me tell you what. Did we have a career-ending injury? Probably, but we had a great time all around. It was a really beautiful one. Let's jump into your Super Chat post show with me, Snowbike Mike, and your two incredible games hosts. It's the end of the week, and we're heading in to the one, the only Halloween weekend. Make sure to dress up. Make sure to drink responsibly. Have fun with your friends. Be safe out there. And, of course, eat a bunch of candy.
Eat that candy.
Because that's what it's all about. Do you check Ben's candy? You know what I mean? Like, remember when back in the day, Mom was like,
Yeah.
I got to see all your candy.
Yeah.
I got to double check. You know what
Well,
I mean?
again, I will remind you, Ben's 2 years old.
Yeah,
So
but like this,
last
time to
year,
get candy.
Last year, he
Yeah.
went out and trick or treated at one house. We went through the neighborhood. He only walked up to one and got one Butterfinger and ate it, and he saw fucking through time. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
So he is prepped for this year. He has been practicing. This morning, he did want to show Mom. So while Mom was still in bed resting, I got his little pumpkin pail and we turned it on, and he walked into the bedroom and went trick or treat. Like, he knows what's up now.
Oh,
it's up.
So
It's
when
up.
we trick or treat in a very nice area, so I'm not too. I also there's a whole thing of like it's always been an urban legend that people fuck with candy. And
then
do this
all of
kind
a sudden you get an apple and there's a razor blade.
well, first
inside
off, if
of it.
anybody gives me a loose apple, yeah, we're not.
A loose
We're not. I'm throwing that shit away. Yes, I mean,
Jesus
even
Christ.
like I saw like a TikTok last night. It was like, oh, like preparing to fuck with people on trick or treating, and it was like they were taking those Forever Rochers and taking out the candy and putting it in an olive and rewrapping it. I'm like, even if you gave me a loose Forever Rocher, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's
better
the real
than that.
candy.
That's,
That was always
that's a
the
good
rule.
trick, though. That's a good
Right?
trick.
It's a good trick for your house.
Yeah.
For like when you you know what I mean, to do that thing.
To fuck with Kevin, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure. I know Tim probably knows, even though he's probably forgotten or whatever.
Okay.
But have we ever talked about the fact that until I was cognizant of like life and I'm talking about as a child, my parents gave away markers on Halloween?
Oh, I was just going to bring up Kyle. His dad was a dentist, so he'd give away toothpaste and toothbrush.
See, I think that's cool and quaint for being a dentist.
Exactly.
I'm a
You're the
dentist.
dentist. You're
Okay,
local
that's
dentist.
funny. That's
Okay.
cute. I like that. You know
Sucks.
what I mean? But my parents had no connection to markers, nor were they anti-candy. They just, for some reason, were like, we're gonna give away markers.
That's cool.
That's
Grace
awesome.
type
I
of
love
house.
that.
And then I had a friend come over.
Maybe
like I
they,
made in,
maybe
like,
they really
kindergarten.
knew what was up, you know? They
Yeah.
knew the cool Gregs out there.
No,
needed markers.
they weren't even like Crayolas. They were those shitty, like the
no.
super thin felt tip markers. They sucked. But it was like I had a friend come over at one that I made in school, and he got there. He's like, "You're the marker house," and I was like, "What does that mean?" You know what I mean? Like, everyone gives out
knows about
candy
the
except your
marker
house.
house.
Oh, we're never doing that again, Mom.
Yeah, when you do weird stuff, people remember that. Is right. King size family house. Like,
I mean,
whoever
yeah,
did the
yeah,
king
yeah,
size,
yeah,
you
yeah.
talk
There was
about
always
it.
the house in my neighborhood back in Ohio that would give out just like cans of Coke. That was awesome. We always hit that place last. So like after
Sure.
walking around
A little
the entire
celebration,
neighborhood.
yeah.
Yeah.
We were asked in the chat. Give me your top 3 worst Halloween candies. Go, Tim.
Oh, I mean, Smarties, candy corn.
Okay, candy corn's pretty good.
Nah, it's booty.
I mean, dots.
Good call on the dots.
Yeah.
I even know I like dots, but dots suck. I give you that.
Who is
Greg,
this
give me your top
person?
3.
I mean, dots suck. Yeah.
I'll smack some dots.
I like
I'll
dots,
smack any
but dots
candy.
Tootsie Rolls.
suck.
Tootsie Rolls.
You know what I mean? Get the
those
fuck outta
flavored
here.
ones too that aren't the
Now,
chocolate. Those things are crazy.
Again, as we
That
all
shit's crazy.
know.
Yeah.
We all know. We get it. I'm old. I saw a conversation yesterday happening on Twitter, maybe with Van Aken and somebody else talking. They're like, chocolate Tootsie Rolls. Well, what about vanilla and orange? I only know the one Tootsie Roll.
Oh.
I don't know any other.
Yeah, they have other flavors.
I've never had another flavor of Tootsie. Now, granted, I don't like them, so I'm probably. But I don't think in my trick-or-treating days this was happening, and I also think we eventually won the war, where I was like, get this shit out of here. And I'm not. I'm not a big fan of nuts. So like a Snickers or whatever, I'm like, I'd rather have a fun size Three Musketeers. But top tier Mounds. Hit me with the fucking Mound. Hit me with a Nestle Crunch. Hit me with a Kit Kat.
I love those.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me your
Big
top
fan of
three.
all
Give me
those.
your top
Top three, yeah. I will say my bottom beyond bottoms, though.
Okay.
Twizzlers. I hate Twizzlers, dude. Red Vines, go.
Oh,
Twizzlers,
okay. Yeah.
absolutely just disgusting. I
Red
don't
Vines are
understand.
amazing. Poe loved Twizzlers. For the longest time, I'm like, you're a psychopath. And then when I moved out here and was introduced to Red Vines, like, this is fantastic. I used to have that big thing on my desk at IGN.
No, Red Vines are top tier.
Yeah.
I'm a
Twizzlers are you're just eating plastic.
What's the point?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, give me something positive.
Barrett,
Give me one
rather
thing
than
you like.
slack you, I'm just going to say that code for that game you wanted came in, and it's in Trello.
Give me one thing you like.
Oh, dude, Reese's.
Okay.
Come on, man.
I like that. I like that. Let's jump into the super chats and, of course, your Twitch resubs. If you resubscribe at the tier 1 through 3 level or for free with Prime Gaming, we'll read your resub message with these two incredible dudes and we'll answer your questions, just like my good friend SCLSU Mud Dogs.
I'm a mud dog.
Resubscribes with Prime Gaming for 56 months and just writes, is that it? Something happened during the show. That's just what they wanted to tell you. So I don't know what happened there. But 29 minutes ago, that's what it was. Grim Fandango with the tier 1 sub for 27 months. Thank you, Grim Fandango. Gary the Third with the tier 1 sub for 64 months says, great work this week, Tim and Mike. Did you see the Magic the Gathering and Marvel is crossing over? Will you get into it, Tim?
No, so I did see this. I'm interested in looking at it, but I just can't do Magic, man. I just can't. There's just too much out there. Too much commitment, too much life.
I got Roger in, and that's
You
all.
did?
I got one.
I'm excited.
I got one in the office in, and that's all that matters. I have taught Roger the basics of at least playing the game, so now he is interested and willing to play with me. We already have 2 starter decks, which is just easy to turn on. We've even switched the decks up, so he's seen 2 different sides. We're having fun, and I look forward to more. I would like to learn Commander. If anyone out there knows how to play Commander and wants to teach me and Roger, we would love to play Commander, because that's what all the cool kids
Mike
play.
almost got me, what was it, 2 weeks ago when we got the
Doctor
Who.
Who, yeah.
And I looked at him for a good minute, and then I said out loud, I can't get into Magic. I can't do it. But he almost
I'm
got
still
me.
buying One Piece cards, too. I'm proud of
God
you.
damn it.
God damn, we got to get those cool One Piece cards, you know what I mean?
Gotta get him.
I'm so deep in the One Piece, you know that. Let's jump over to the YouTube side for a second right now. CJ with the $5 super chat writes in and says, I watch XCast and I don't even own an Xbox because of Mike, great host, and I don't think he gets enough credit for the energy he brings to camp. Hey, Slappy, thank you, CJ. You don't have to say that, but thank you, man.
Very true.
We try
Second
every
reason he
single week.
watches it, I come in a lot, and I just say stuff.
Oh, we love
Gary
it.
Whitta gets so mad.
I want you to know
I'll
we
bring
love when you
views,
come
Gary.
in. That's right. You and Paris always feuding it up is right. But I will say thank you for watching. We always try to be better every single week, have something fun for you. And a very special one with the big IGN crossover. We'll have a very special podcast coming up next week. Can I say that?
Yeah, we already said it. Yeah, Ryan, Stella.
Oh, my God. It's going to be an IGN unlocked crossover with Kind of Funny XCast. It's going to be a real special episode.
That's gonna be great.
If you got some fun ideas for topics, like evergreen topics, write in. Let me know. We're talking about it now, so let me know what you got. You
Is
know
that
what I
crazy for you, Mike?
mean? That we get to hang out
That
with
your
Ryan?
show is crossing over
You're
with...
making an X.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty wild, is right. Yeah. I mean, having Ryan in the building was already special, and getting to share time with Stella is always fun. I mean, me and Stella just vibe. I know you don't vibe well with Stella, but like, let me tell you what.
It just sucks
Me
that
and Stella, we're on the same
It would just
vibe.
suck that there's a bully that like makes my life a living hell, and you're friends with her. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm
that's
part
what
of
you
that,
go and
right?
do.
Yeah.
It's upsetting.
Let's keep it going right now. Torch writes in with a $10 super chat and says, hey guys, if I wanted to start content creation from a blank start, do you guys think it'd be smart to have a Patreon ready to go from the start or start one if I were to grow an audience later?
Great question.
I would definitely say at this point in time, I think this is something that's changed. I feel like a lot of the advice that I would have given years ago, I would no longer give necessarily. I don't think that's always true.
Okay.
But I do think with this, my answer would be do not have a Patreon at the very beginning. I feel like prove to yourself that this is something you want to do and prove
before
that
you commit to an audience.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen Patreons that are like, hey, we're sorry, I fell behind. Well, I mean, we've fallen behind too, but I mean, like, hey, I'm quitting. I have to refund. I have to do this. It wasn't what I wanted. Make sure you like content creation.
That's the most important thing is getting a base first. And I feel like that base needs to come from you liking and enjoying what you're doing and finding what it is you want to do. And so I think step one is, and you're probably already in this place a little bit, but look at what you like out there and try to decide, do you want to do that thing or do you want to do something different or what is it? But have an understanding of what it is you want to do and what it is that you find value in that's out there, and then try to decide how you're going to put your own spin on it, or if you have an idea that's inspired by that or whatever it is, commit to it, have some level of consistency, prove to yourself that you can do it and in a way that you're enjoying, then worry about the money.
It's you know what, Tim? It's special to be up next to you two and you guys give the advice like that because, yeah, you guys have grown so much. You've seen so many changes in the industry, and it's nice that the people can write in and ask you things like that. Get some good insights.
We talked about it yesterday with you, Mike, but it's like, Mike kind of did the most perfect version of what I just said. You watched us, you saw what you liked about it, tried doing it yourself. And like, I always give Mike so much credit because not only was he such a great positive force just on the internet period and in the community and all that, like showing up to events and like really putting yourself out there and like being like such a standout human being as you always are. But doing the Twitch streaming, like your Snowbike Mike branding, having fun with all that. And then the podcast you did with Tom Bach, like I feel like you just really you listened to the advice of just do it. And here you are.
You got to try. You're going to fail. You're going to learn from it. You're going to have fun. Most importantly, I just always enjoyed it. I think that was the big one too, is right. I liked the outlets. I enjoyed being able to connect with people live while playing games and being able to chat and have fun and do dumb stuff like Halo tournaments. It was always fun. I loved it. Let's keep it going right now. Nightlife writes into you, Greg Miller, because this is because of you. Thanks for the free game yesterday, just in time for my birthday this Saturday. Don't forget that Paris Lily's birthday is on the 29th. And also, Jujubes are the worst.
Yeah, nobody gets those out anymore. Yeah.
Remember when Elaine, her boyfriend at the time, he went to the hospital, but she was at the movie waiting for him.
Yeah, she
and
got
then she went to see him and she got the Jujubes.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of Seinfeld.
Seinfeld's great. Happy birthday. Of course, you're welcome for the game. I'm glad you won it. And we don't recognize Paris's birthday here.
Okay, I like that. Greg, whenever you're ready to strap on that PSVR or that VR again and play some more Ghostbusters, I'm in.
Okay.
I like jumping back in. Next, I'm going to buy. What are you looking at him about the birthday?
He saw it all click in. He saw it all click in. Do we have Paris's address? Joey!
We do have his birthday on the calendar.
That doesn't help.
You all saw what I saw. Greg Miller had that. Wait a minute. There's a bit here that I can go hard on.
He's excited for that. Is right. Let's keep it going
Chat
right
be
now.
cool. Don't tell him.
Yeah, chat be cool.
Mr. H2O, great name, $5 super chat and says, Tim, when are you going to let me teach you how to play the Pokemon card game?
Did you catch 'em all?
Any desire to learn how to actually play the Pokemon card game, Tim?
No,
Okay.
I don't have a desire to do that. However, I do have a desire to, once the collector's edition, whatever the hell cards that they're coming out with that are like those 3 decks, I do want to play with you, Mike, on a stream.
Yeah, I would like to learn. Yeah.
I feel like that will be when the time comes that we learn how to play.
There's a couple of things in life that I really want to go do, like AGDQ and SGDQ. I'd love to go to Games Done Quick. I would also love to be one of the announcers there and maybe read off some donations late at night, like the 2 to like 4 a.m. time slot. Sign me up anytime. But like that's on my list, along with if San Francisco ever hosted like the Pokemon World Champions and we had the card game going on, I would go and watch that.
Oh,
because
hell
I
yeah.
find that stuff fascinating.
Dude, I'd be in for
and
sure.
the people who are like into it, it would always be a fun time to see like what's going on in the world.
Dude, the Pokemon World Championships are absolutely wild because they do the actual core games, they do the trading card games, they do Pokemon Unite, and they do Pokemon Go. And it is the saddest thing in the fucking
I feel
world,
like we
I'm gonna
gotta
be honest
go.
with you. Just
I
the Go
feel like
part.
we gotta go to that. That's right. Oh my God.
His
Okay.
birthday's Monday, right?
Yes, Monday the 29th. No, that
No,
doesn't add up, right?
he's the 30th.
He's the 30th because I was going to
But
say
that is
Monday.
Monday. That is Monday.
yes.
Halloween Eve.
Halloween Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, will your neighborhood get a bunch of kids? Will you hand out candy?
No, that it hasn't been a really kid-focused neighborhood for a long time, but there's a turn happening. The last couple well, also where I live, I've only lived there since the pandemic. So it's kind of like we never like our first Halloween was in 2020. So a couple years of not really seeing what that would actually look like. The neighborhood right now is the most festive by far that it's ever been.
I love that.
And I mean, cool, Greg. You know what I'm talking about?
No, he doesn't.
There's like a ton of like there's shit popping off. There's like and there's more kids than there used to be, or at least I'm seeing the kids for the first time. I think a lot of people fucked during the pandemic.
Oh,
you know what I mean? People were locked in their house. A lot of sex happening.
Yeah,
a lot of P's in the V's. 9 months later, baby. 2 years later, post-pandemic, baby comes. Baby's now trick or treating. So that's what my theory is.
And San Francisco is also a weird one too, where there's like neighborhoods where like there's not really a lot of trick or treating activity, but then the kids know what the good neighborhoods are.
Yeah.
You know?
Remember that neighborhood in front of the old Ocean Place?
Oh, that
place was insane. I drove through there one night on Halloween. I was like, "What the hell? This is a movie."
Yeah.
Oh
that's awesome.
It still is.
Yeah, that's the vibe. Eric D. Cooper right in and says you could be known as the Pack House and you could give away Pokemon card packs.
I mean, well,
what you do?
There's the booster bundle. You see that?
Yeah, I did see that.
Dude, you can buy it. It's in the same type of packaging as like Halloween candy would be, but it's a bunch of Pokemon card packs.
Love this idea.
It's only 3 cards per pack. I buy them every year just to collect them because I'm a bad person.
Smart. Maybe you buy 2 more and you give them to the kids.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. I just don't. I don't know. I don't want to be responsible. That's a cool Greg thing. I'm sure he'd love that.
Be responsible is great. Let's keep it going right now with Tyler McD. Happy Halloween. I started playing AW2. That's Alan Wake 2.
Oh!
At the stroke of midnight, and it's scary.
It is scary.
What AW2 content can we expect coming up? Tim Geddes, are we talking AW2 here at Kind of Funny? Because I think we've already talked a little bit about it, right?
Yeah, we reviewed it.
I know. I want you to lead into it.
Oh, we reviewed it over on PS I Love You XOXO. Of course, it was our review so far. My hope, of course, is that this weekend I finish it off.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Get the credits behind me and then have a conversation probably on Gamescast. Tim and I haven't talked about Gamescast. There's a redacted review I'm going to be ready to talk about, and so will Kat Bailey from IGN when she joins us. But I also think that won't be the whole show. So I think we could probably do a finalized Alan Wake 2. It could be the headline or whatever, or thoughts. And it can be what you've been playing. There's a whole bunch of stuff we can do. But I'd imagine we'll touch base there.
I like that. And
I think Andy's playing it today.
Oh, I was going to say, Tim, then there's also more content of Alan Wake 2. Will you want to tell everybody about that?
Yeah, Alan Wake 2. We're doing an NVIDIA sponsor stream right after this, showing off all of the ray tracing tech. Really excited for this one. It's going to be Andy playing, which is really fun. You and Andy going to be hanging out, having a good time.
I'm really excited. Andy's got that 4090 booted up, geared up, updated, and going over the NVIDIA press release, them showing off the trailer of what you're getting out of it with the full ray tracing, aka path tracing, and all the cool features with DLSS 3.5. It is stunning and unbelievable what they're getting out of this game, and it's going to look real cool. So, yeah, you're going to get some Alan Wake 2 content in T-minus 15 minutes. Woo! So make sure to hang around, of course, over on Twitch. You can keep watching. If you're watching on YouTube, there will be a brand new link. You can jump in and have some fun with us. But get ready for, of course, some visual triangle talk with me and Andy and some stunning graphics coming out of this game, because it's unbelievable what they got going on with the reflections and the lighting. Holy cow. And you know Andy. Andy's going to geek out. We're going to stop and talk about this stuff.
Triangle.
It's going to be crazy.
Visual triangle.
It's wild, man. A brown spot says, pissed. You missed my pissed. You missed my super chat earlier. I don't have it on mine, but a brown spot, you write in on just a normal chat, and I will look for you on that one, okay, my friend? No, there it is. After playing the MJ missions in Spider-Man 2, I think Insomniac could make The Last of Us, but Naughty Dog couldn't make Spider-Man. Thoughts? Okay, one more time. After playing the MJ missions in Spider-Man 2, I think Insomniac could make The Last of Us, but Naughty Dog couldn't make Spider-Man. Thoughts, Greg Miller?
Cameron Kennedy sums it up. Weird take.
Okay.
I mean, I disagree. I think that, obviously I think the MJ missions in Spider-Man 2 were a step up from MJ missions in Spider-Man 1. However, I do not think they were I wasn't playing them being like, man, this kicks the shit out of being Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2. I thought the mechanics there were way more robust and, I guess grounded, more fun. I don't know what you want to be. MJ missions actually kind of broke the whole scenario for me in certain parts where it was like Pete and Miles are fighting for their fucking life. And MJ's able to go with these guys and stun gun them down. And it's like, again, this is more entertaining than it was before. I enjoyed the thematics of it, of Spider Team. I didn't hate these missions by any stretch of the imagination. But for me, they were like, all right, this is something I'm getting through and doing. Yeah. And I mean, Naughty Dog can make whatever the fuck Naughty Dog wants to make. And I think their Spider-Man would probably be very different than Insomniac's. I would imagine it would probably be way more cinematic, behind the back. We're telling a Spider-Man movie story than what Insomniac's open world Spider-Man is. But I think they can make that. And also Insomniac, if they wanted to, would sit button up and could make a Last of Us game. But again, it would be very different than what The Last of Us is.
Yeah, I feel like it's a funny statement, I think. But I think in terms of narrative ability, I think Insomniac has proven with Spider-Man 2 that they can do a Last of Us. Like, I think that specifically with all the side content and how fleshed out those stories are and how real the characters feel and important the stories are, I feel like, yeah, they could do whatever Naughty Dog can when it comes to character development and plot and all of that and themes. In terms of gameplay and stuff, the MJ stuff is really interesting to me, where especially in Spider-Man 2, I don't even see it as a negative. I don't even see it as a con. I'm with Greg that I think that the most criticism I have towards it is more story-based and plot armor-based than it is in terms of this isn't fucking fun or whatever. It's it's fine. It doesn't overstay its welcome. And I don't think it's I don't think it's bad at all. I don't think it's my favorite part of the game, but it's totally okay. But I think that Naughty Dog, I'm sure, has it in them to make a Spider-Man type game, but there's something about Insomniac's just the fun factor that I haven't seen from Naughty Dog. That's just not their MO when it comes to what they care about, or at least what they've presented to us in video games over the last decade. But I feel like when it comes to the thing about Spider-Man that's interesting to me is there's kind of three different verticals. There's just the pure fun open world side of it, of just how much fun it is to move around and collect things. Then there's the story and characters and performances and the heart of it all. And then there's the big crazy set pieces. When it comes to Naughty Dog games like Uncharted and Last of Us, I feel like you replace, they have the latter of those two. They have the story and characters and themes and all of that being important. And then they have the crazy set pieces. But I feel like the rest of their stuff is a bit more about the linear, almost walking simulators with combat scenarios to get the lines of dialogue and the little moments of the in between, the calm before the storm, essentially. Whereas Spider-Man doesn't have a calm. Spider-Man's calm is swinging around, stopping crime and all that. So it's just different philosophy that I feel like Insomniac has nailed that stuff.
I like that. Good job, you two.
Yeah.
Thank you also, a brown spot, for writing in. Big Tomo has resubscribed to the tier 1 level for 23 months. What up, Big Tomo? Nitrogen Mustard writes in with the tier 1 sub for 17 months. Says, just happy to be here. Much love, Tim.
Love you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Lexi Gunner with the tier 1 sub for 76 months. Go green, Lexi. Great week of content, boys. Happy Friday. Thank you, Lexi. It's been a very fun week of content. And we have college football tomorrow. I'll tell you what, Greg,
when we get EA college football?
When are we getting NCAA college football, EA? That's a great call. And I'll tell you what. It has been a great week of sports, from college football Saturday to NFL on Sunday. Then, of course, NBA tip-off. NHL had their big Frozen Frenzy. And I'll tell you what. Where's Andy been? You know what I mean? Where's my best friend been to talk sports with? I look at Nick. I try to tell him about what just happened, and he's nowhere. He wants to tell me about a documentary that I don't even know the words coming out of his mouth. He could have been talking about the Muppets. He could have been talking about a band from the 70s. I have no idea what Nick is saying, and I'm just nodding along because all I want to do is be like, Nick, did you see the Denver Nuggets absolutely bring it to the LA Lakers? Hey, Kendrick Perkins, put some respect on the Joker's name, okay, Tim? He's a league MVP. He's an NBA Finals champion, and we're walking around as if the Joker doesn't got game.
Damn.
It's unbelievable,
Man created
KP.
Two-Face too. That's crazy.
It's
Wow.
unbelievable, KP. And then we got hockey back again. Ain't nothing better than hockey. Just dudes banging into each other. Remember the time when I started a riot at a hockey game, Tim?
No.
That's another story I'll tell you about another time, okay? Big Tumble, thank you. Thank you to Lexi Cutter, okay? Let's see. Brian McBrien with the tier 1 sub for 103 months. Says 103 months. Just beat Spider-Man 2. Loved the spoiler cast. And shout out to the Freakers Ball. Thank you, Brian McBrien.
Shout out to the Freakers
he
Ball.
knows about the Freakers Ball. Brian McBrien knows, you know what I mean? Jay Shaw says, Mike, what did you think of Dame Time in Milwaukee last night with a tier 1 for Prime Gaming for 79 months? Would have talked all about it with Andy Cortez. Not here. You know, wait until Andy, then we'll talk about sports. You know what I mean?
Bad
and then
friend.
Raleigh writes in and says, I hate to put you on blast, Mike, but you did say we'd play spooky games. We haven't yet, and a lot of people are saying he's scared of the back rooms. Tim, we have a new back rooms game. And I tried to convince Andy and Nick to play it with me. But we had some other things come up. But we do have a backrooms game in our pocket right now, which I'm excited about. I like that this genre has just grown, where they're like, you know what? More backrooms.
Yeah.
Just more really shitty backrooms.
I still don't know
games.
what the backrooms is. I know you guys have talked about it. I know it scares you guys. I have no visual on this. I have no understanding.
Do you remember the what was it? The dome, Tim?
The Knock Dome?
No, the actual dome.
The fan dome.
The fan dome. It's like fandom. Like you don't. It's hard to
You have to
describe.
experience it.
You have to experience
Got
it,
it.
and then once you get into it, you realize you've never left it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I do want you to know, Tim, if you ever get snapped into the back rooms, if I'm there with you, we're going to make it out. I can promise you.
Okay, good.
Because I am a master of the back rooms. Really, you don't get any TikToks about the back rooms? You don't get these like super well animated and produced like TikToks at all?
No.
They're the most insane stuff ever. Fully animated, super well thought out and like beautiful. And it's just these guys in hazmat suits in different parts of the back rooms. You don't get those?
I mean, even if I did, I wouldn't know.
It's
I don't know what it is.
It's unbelievable stuff, man. I hope your phone hears me. Hey, TikTok, play backroom stuff, you know, just so they get it for you. That's how it works, right, Greg?
Exactly. It's always
It's
listening.
always listening. I'll tell you what. I say, hey, I need this. All of a sudden, Amazon's shoving it down my throat, telling
know
me
what's
go
up,
buy
man.
all this stuff. Let's finish it off with the fun one. Of course, as we say goodbye, Tim and Greg, we look forward to Halloween weekend. Of course, Halloween next week, a big IGN crossover for some great cause. What is it again?
Extra life for some great cause.
Great cause.
You can donate it
Stuff
right
for
now
charity.
at kindoffunny.com/extra life. We're already fundraising, of course.
We're very excited about
You can
that.
also join if you want to play video games and raise money on your own. Kindoffunny.com/extra life. Go there and join our team.
Now, Greg, of course, as we look forward to the weekend, tell me your favorite Halloween costume that you want to see more people dress up as.
Well, of course, Ghostbusters always do me well, but I won't say that. That's, whatever. I'd love to see more Halloween costumes. I'd like to see right now. I'd love to see some good couples costumes. And I'd love to see some good superhero couples. You know what I mean? Give me a Rogue and a Gambit. Give me a Superman and a Lois. Let's get out there. Let's see some of that on the streets this year.
Oh, I love that. Tim, what do you want to see out on the streets for Halloween costume-wise?
I just like group costumes. I like couples costumes. I like when things have that, when there's more going on than just somebody showing up. I also there's a fine line here, but I like it when it's clever, but you can't be too clever. You need to be able to look at it and people need to understand what it is. But there's also an understanding that not everyone's going to understand everything. And the more clever you get, you're going to lose that shit. So you got to make sure that the group you're with understands what you're doing, or else you're just being weird.
I like that. And with that, Kind of Funny best friends, this is the end of your Friday edition of Kind of Funny Games Daily. If you're watching live on Twitch, you don't got to go anywhere. Me and Andy are playing Alan Wake 2, thanks to NVIDIA, with all of you. And if you're on YouTube, hey, guess what? There's a brand new link. You can go give it a click, and we'll be on and live in less than 5 minutes. We'll see you all very, very soon. Goodbye, everyone.